Hi guys, welcome to the Haunted Valley. I'm Erin, and today I am going to talk about Piranha, the original Piranha from 1978. I know there was a second one, which I did not watch, and there is, I think it's Piranha 3D, the one with Jerry O'Connell in it, more recent, and that one, we're not going to talk about that one. Now, I love this movie. It's kind of a Jaws spoof, but I think it stands on its own as a good little creature feature. It begins with two kids who are backpacking. They, for some reason, go into this kind of military, sealed off, secluded testing site. And they decide to explore it. It's nighttime, they're in the woods, they're hot and sweaty, and they see a pool. And of course, their first thought is to go swimming. They strip down and jump in, as you do when you find an unknown pool in the middle of nowhere in a possibly abandoned military testing area. But who are we to judge them, right? So they get in there and piranha eat them. And it's glorious because it's kind of like the opening of Jaws, where there's, skinny dipping and you don't know that something is there, and all of a sudden it's too late. Kids who are backpacking are reported as missing. That's when you get one of the main characters, Maggie, who is sent after them to find out what happened. So she is a private investigator, and she is tracking down the kids, and she runs across Paul, Bradford Dillman, and she gets him to take her up to that testing site. Paul and Maggie break into the testing site, and they're poking around. They see this little, just this room with a whole bunch of weird, creepy stuff, like things in jars, fish skeletons, and preserved piranha. There's a little creature that keeps running around, and he's like a claymation creature, and he's really cute. I'll insert a clip for sure of him. I always loved him. And there's a scientist up there that we don't see, but we know he's there. Maggie decides that she is going to empty the water from this pool. So she hits the switch to drain the pond, which I always thought that was kind of brazen, and Paul's trying to tell her not to do it. And they end up fighting with the scientist guy. He's trying to stop them from doing it. So after Paul and Maggie drain the pool, or the pond as she keeps calling it, the scientist they've knocked out, he ends up stealing their vehicle, driving off with it, crashing. Then they grab him, they bring him back to Paul's cabin on the lake, and he's essentially their prisoner, and they extract information from him about Operation Razor Teeth, which was a government-funded military program. They were going to breed piranha to survive in saltwater. They were going to release them in the rivers during the Vietnam War, and once the war ended, the project was supposed to end, but this guy, the scientist, kept it going, and he was definitely the mad scientist. The piranha themselves, I think, are cute, but also creepy. It's like, take it or leave it, we don't care. We know that they're kind of cheesy little fish. And I don't think that the movie would benefit from CGI fish. So I think the charm is the old real practical effects. The piranha noise, it's very frenzied. I really like the two girl camp counselors. They are not very one-dimensional. They have a lot to them, and you really feel for them One is Melody Thomas, and I forget the name of the other girl. And Melody Thomas is also in The Fury, which I'm going to review also at some point. I really like her. Barbara Steele plays one of the corrupt scientists.
Some things are more important than a few people's lives.
I always loved that line. It makes her sound like a bitch. At the summer camp, you actually get kids playing in the water. They're having a race. They're going to be exposed to the piranha. And back then, people killed kids in the movies. And I think that's something that's lacking today. You don't see enough willingness to kill off characters if they're kids. So there are a couple dead kids in this. There's one scene where one of the piranha jumps out and gets the main camp counselor guy. I like that one a lot. Now the way they end up getting rid of the piranha, well, some of the piranha, is Bradford Dillman ties a rope around his waist and he ends up diving into this smelting plant control center that's now underwater, because he used to work there, he knows the ins and outs, and he pollutes the lake. So he has to get in there. He's getting attacked by all these piranha. They're biting at him. He's holding his breath for, I swear to God, it's 10 minutes. Okay, it's not 10 minutes. But he's successful, and he opens this hatch that's gonna pollute the lake. And of course, the piranha make their way down to the resort, and everything is chaos. They're stampeding, running over each other, fighting, and a whole bunch of people try getting on this little boat, and I think the capacity is, I don't even know, something like 20 people who are supposed to be on this, and so obviously it's going to tip over if people get on. So all these people are trying to surge onto this boat, and the government officials who are on there, who know about the piranha, are like kicking them and pushing them off so that they can't climb up. It's pretty brutal. And at the end, you see all the destruction, and you know the piranha are loose, and Barbara Steele's character just has this creepy smile.
As an expert in tropical species, what danger is there in the possibility of the piranha reaching the ocean?
Oh, none at all. Most of them will have been destroyed by pollution at the end of the lake. And of course, if any of them did get through, there's no way they could survive the salt water. There's nothing left to fear.
There is a cute little homage to Jaws. In the very beginning, Maggie is playing an arcade game, and it's the Jaws game. Music in this is done by Pino Donaggio. Probably his most recognizable score, the one that most people would be familiar with, is Carrie. He did the music for Carrie. So I believe he actually has done a lot with Brian De Palma in general with his music. All in all, I really like this movie. I've always liked it ever since I first saw it. The movie cover is brilliant. It has a lot. It has a decent body count. It has good actors and actresses. It has kind of taboo killing of children. It's got corrupt military officials, corrupt resort guy.
I thought I told you not even to say that word.
But the piranhas.
What about the goddamn piranhas?
They're eating the guests, sir.
They do have humor, which is also great. So I definitely recommend this movie. I watch it not yearly, but I watch it often. And someday I will check out the sequel. That is it for this review. Let me know down below if you like this movie, if you hate this movie, if you've never seen it, if you're interested in seeing it, just comment below. Have a spooky day.